Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching another Katona's tutoring video with your host, Mr. Katona. For today's video, as you can see, we're going to be solving one-step equations. Now, because we're following this theme of short, sweet, to the point, this is a general overview of how to solve one-step equations. If you would like a more brief but in-depth review of solving one-step equations, I can break it down how to solve one-step equations with addition, subtraction, how to solve one-step equations with multiplication, division, etc. If you would like to see videos that break it down more, please leave a comment below. But with that being said, let's get started. So, when we solve one-step equations, we're simply trying to find what the value of x or y or another variable is. So in this case, when I look at x plus 4 equals 9, I'm trying to find what value x is to make this equation work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify and isolate. I want to isolate my variable here, which means I have to do the opposite to get the other number to move across. Another way of thinking about this is I'm trying to get 4 on the other side so that x is by itself. X is isolated. So what I have to do is I have to find out how to make 4 become 0. I would obviously, to do that, have to subtract 4 with 4, because 4 minus 4 gives me 0. But what I do to one side of the equation, I must do to the other side of the equation. So I subtract the left side by 4 so that 4 cancels, but because I did that to the left side, I have to subtract the right side. And when I do that on the right side, I have to combine like terms. Because 9 and 4 are just constant terms, I'm going to subtract 9 and 4. So I would be left with, at the end, x equals 9 minus 4, which is 5. So my answer has to be 5. I can then plug it back into the original equation to see if my variable is indeed the correct answer. So I plug 5 in for x, I add 4, and let's see, 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 does equal 9, so we are correct. So we did our check. Our answer is indeed 5. This is simply solving one-step equations. Let's look at another example. I'm going to have x, don't want to use that color. I'm going to have x plus a negative 5, which equals negative 6. So I know I'm adding here, but my number here is negative. So I'm going to add positive 5, because negative 5 plus 5 will give me 0, which means I also have to add plus 5 here. When I add negative 5 and positive 5, I get 0. Negative 6 plus positive 5 should give me negative 1. So in this case, x equals negative 1. I'm going to do a check real quick and see. Make sure I am correct. So I'm going to plug in negative 1 for x. I'm going to add negative 5. I'm going to see what I get. Negative 1 plus negative 5, negative 6. Negative 6 does in fact equal negative 6. So we are correct. Now, just as a brief side note, if you have problems or are confused with adding negative and positive numbers, and you would like a review on how to add and subtract negatives and how to multiply and divide with negatives, please leave a comment below and I will totally make that video. But we're following the same trend. We solve for x. Now we're going to look at a different type of one-step equation. In this one-step equation, we have 5x equals negative 15. The first thing I want you to do is notice there's no plus or minus sign in between 5 and x here. This means if the number is right next to the variable like this means multiplication. Now, how do I solve when I have to multiply? Again, I still want to get x by itself because I need to find out what x is. What I can do here is, again, I'm just going to do the opposite. So because I'm multiplying x and 5, I'm going to divide by 5. Because 5 times x and 5 divided by, we get 1. We get it to cancel. But because I divide the left side by 5, I also have to divide the right side by 5, which is going to leave me with x equals negative 15 divided by 5, which is going to be negative 3. Again, I'm going to plug my answer in to check to make sure we did it correctly. So I have 5 times negative 3 equals negative 15. 5 times negative 3, negative 15. Negative 15 equals negative 15. That's correct, so it's true. X equals negative 3, correct. Ooh. Sorry about that, guys. So why am I going through all the pressure with all the time and all the effort to check? The reason I'm always checking is I want to make sure I get the right answer. That's why when you have tests like this, you should know the grade you got when you walk out of the test, because you can check all of your work while doing the problem. That's the beauty of solving equations. When you solve for x, you can always plug x back in to make sure that the equation is actually, in fact, correct. So in this case, we solved for x. We found that x was negative 3. We checked it. We are solid. We're good to go. Now, we're going to go to another problem. Again, we're going to have a similar idea here. So we're going to have negative, what's going on with me today, guys? We're going to have negative 7x equals negative 21. Obviously, this is multiplication right here. So what I want to do is I want to divide both sides by negative 7. Negative 7 divided by negative 7 would be 1, so I'm left with x. Negative 21 divided by negative 7 is positive 3. So x, in fact, equals 3. Let's do our check. Negative 7 times positive 3 equals negative 21. Negative 7 times 3, negative 21. Negative 21 equals negative 21. Check. So in this case, x has to equal positive 3. Now, there are 2 more problems, and in this, we're going to do division. So let's see what we're doing. So in the next problem, I have x over 3 equals positive 5. So if you ever see a variable, a division sign, or a fraction sign, and a denominator, know that they're dividing. This fraction sign, a lot of times when we're looking at algebra, means division. So it's x divided by 3 equals 5. So just like when we were multiplying, we want to, again, isolate x. To isolate x, we have to do the opposite, which means if we're dividing, we have to multiply. And if we multiply one side of the equation by 3, we have to multiply the other side of the equation by 3. In this case, 3 cancels out with 3. We're left with x. 5 times 3 is 15, so x equals 15. We'll do our check. I used red, so we'll use green to check. We have 15 over 3 equals 5. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 5 equals 5. Check. Well, we have one last problem we're going to look at. Let's use blue. Cool. If I have x over negative 5 equals 10, I again look at the fraction bar and I know that that's division. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this problem, I'm going to do the opposite, which is multiply by negative 5. And if I multiply one side of the equation by negative 5, I have to multiply the other side of the equation by negative 5. So negative 5, boom, I'm left with x equals 10 times negative 5, which is negative 50. So my answer should be negative 50. But again, let's do a check. I have negative 50 divided by negative 5 equals 10. Negative 50 divided by negative 5 is positive 10. Positive 10 does in fact equal positive 10. We are correct. So this was a brief overview of how to solve one-step equations. Again, like I said previously, if you want a video that goes over how to multiply and divide and add and subtract negative numbers, I will gladly make a review video. It'll be a short video, but just in case we need a review, I'm all for it. Secondly, if you have another question and you would like to see how to add and subtract and multiply and divide with solving one-step equations in more depth for like one specific topic, let me know and I'll make another video that goes over that. If you liked this video, please leave a like. If you want to see a different topic for me to cover, please leave a comment below. If you were helped by this video, please subscribe. Please like the video, obviously. And if you could share this video with anyone you know who might be struggling, please do so. Even if they're not struggling and you think it would help them, please leave a share. Share this video as much as you can. We're trying to reach as many people who are struggling students as we possibly can. Lastly, if you would like tutoring, online or in person, please leave a comment below. Also, you can email katonastutoring@gmail.com, which will be in the description below. Bye, guys.